Hello, class. Today I'm reviewing Chapter 14, Marketing, Part 2. Now, marketing campaigns have several different components. The main thing you're looking for, though, is you want to ask, what is your end goal? And within your end goal, you'll have several different types of key performance indicators. You're also asking, where will your content be distributed and what kind of budget do you have? Your budget may change where some of where you're distributing your content because you may not have enough money, let's say, for a regular TV ad, but you might have enough for a YouTube ad, for example. Or maybe you know that your audience is going to interact with your campaign a little better if you have it as maybe certain kinds of posts instead of on Twitter, instead of having banner ads. So you have to look at all of the costs associated with your campaign. So that's research. What kind of agency are you using? Advertising, freelance costs, any development that you'll need if you have to create a new logo or maybe design a mailer or email or something. You also want to check your return on investment and your make sure that you're working within your means for that campaign. Now, there are many different content formats. I went over some of them in part one. You have billboards, press releases, video ads. Usually, marketing campaigns are working with multiple formats related to the target market and target audience. So, you want to make sure that you're working both with what your client wants to do and what they can afford, and also what will get them the best return on investment based on the target audience. Now, your team, what do you need to complete your project? Are you going to need a copywriter? Do you need to hire someone to rebuild a website or build one from scratch, even? Is there a designer you need? Do you need someone to design a logo? Or maybe you need certain accountants or someone. There are lots of different people required for a team. So you have to think about it, figure out what you'll need before you start. And that way you won't be hit with any surprise expenses. And of course, your design should fit the campaign concept. You don't need to remake a website if all you need for your campaign is a YouTube video ad, or if you need to maybe adjust some things on a Twitter site. You don't always need to remake the brand logo and repost it everywhere. So you have to think about what you're doing, plan ahead, create your team, all that good stuff. And of course, one of the final ideas you need to consider is, what's your deadline? When are you starting? When are you ending? How long is the video ad supposed to be if you're doing one? How many weeks are you running the print ad you created? Is the billboard going to be up for a month, 6 months, a year? So all of that needs to be taken into consideration. And of course, if depending on the type of campaign you have, if you're working more to build brand awareness, or if you're working to get people into the store during a particular time of the year, those will require different display lengths for your particular ad. You aren't going to keep running Black Friday or Cyber Monday ads after the that period is over. So keep that in mind as you're creating a campaign and considering how long you're going to have your display and your particular deadline and goals. Now, what are KPI? They're key performance indicators. And all good key performance indicators will include objective evidence. So something where you can measure it at the beginning, the middle, and the end and see some kind of progression, or not see one and realize that there may have been a problem. You want to measure the parts that will help you make better decisions now and in the future. And of course, you want to be able to compare whatever you're measuring and see if and expect a progress if your campaign is successful. If you want a little more information about KPI, I included a couple of links here. Now, some examples of KPI are sales growth, leads. So leads are generally speaking related to future sales. You're looking at selling to, like, maybe there are customers who are going to be they aren't necessarily going to buy something right now, but maybe they see your ad now and in 3 months they'll go and buy that car you advertised. Or they aren't in the market for a particular product right now, but they will be in the future. Or maybe you're looking to see if your sales team is responding appropriately to requests by customers. Or maybe you want to see if you're not only getting first-time customers, but also repeat customers. How long are people shopping with you? Are they just coming in for a sale and then leaving, or are they coming back during other times of the year and keeping those sales numbers from fluctuating too much? They're steadily growing instead of going way up and then back down again. And you also want to look at the cost of customer acquisition. So with that person who comes in for sales, are you spending a lot more to get them in the store and to get them to buy things? Like, are you actually losing money maybe on getting these new customers? Or are they sticking around and actually providing a positive return on investment? When you're planning a marketing campaign, you need to set a goal based on your client's needs and your target audience. So when you're setting that goal, you'll also establish how you'll measure your campaign to determine whether or not it's successful. And that includes setting a starting point and an ending point. And of course, you want to define a target audience. You don't want it to just be everyone, because a campaign for everyone is going to attract no one. And set a concept for your campaign based on your research and the discussions you've had with your client, and get in touch with the right team members to create it. You don't want to bloat your team with too many people. And of course, choose the channels that will work the best for your target audience and your goal. So if you're looking to build brand awareness, you might use different ones than attracting people for a sale. And like I said, you want to make sure you're setting a timeline for your campaign. Sometimes you'll have maybe something that won't show any returns until the next fiscal quarter, or maybe it'll take a year for your client to see what happened. And you want to make sure that you explain that to them whenever you're talking to them. And not only that you're monitoring the right metrics, but that you're monitoring them at the right times as well. Because sometimes you won't see a return for a while. So you have to make sure that your timeline reflects it, and the metrics that you are using to measure the change over time. And of course, whenever you have a timeline, you want to set up little roadblocks or little more like guideposts along the way to ensure that your campaign is working and you're driving your customers toward the desired action. And if it looks like they aren't, then see if you have if you can figure out a way to adjust the campaign accordingly and get everything back on track. Now, when you're setting your purpose or goal, you want to start with something broad and then narrow it down. You're going to take a broad goal like brand awareness and then redefine it as a SMART goal, or specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. Now, SMART goals help you work with clear intention. It's a way for you to gauge your success and set any smaller goals along the way in order to determine whether or not you need to adjust anything. And it provides an actual objective. If you've ever worked without an ending point before, you might notice that it's really difficult to get people, whenever you're working for something, if you don't have that end goal, it can be really hard to figure it out on your own without any kind of benchmark. And of course, you want to make sure that you aren't including any unnecessary work. This is part of work smarter, not harder. So setting a clear beginning and end and determining what exactly success is going to help you not only avoid overworking on things that don't need it, but also help you to reach an end and actualize your goals. So you're using specific wording when you create a SMART goal. You're including something that's measurable. You're also going to aim for something realistic. Look at your research. Is it realistically possible for you to see a 15% increase in sales? Is it more likely for there to be maybe a 5 to 7% increase instead? Pick something that is going to work for your particular product, service, your market. Sometimes you just aren't in a market that has a lot of breathing room, and you need to make sure that you actually are able to address that with your client, and that you're both on the same page as far as goals are concerned, and that you're focusing on the correct target audience as well. Now, here's a SMART goal example with the blog traffic. So the specific part of the goal, I want to boost our blog's traffic by increasing our weekly publishing frequency from 5 to 8 times a week. Our 2 bloggers will increase their workload from writing 2 posts to 3, and our editor will start writing 2 posts a week. So we have specified exactly what we're going to do to create this goal. Now, the measurable part of it, what should we see? Well, we should see an 8% increase in traffic to the website. Cool. Attainable. Is this goal attainable? Our blog traffic increased by 5% last month when we increased our weekly publishing frequency from 3 to 5 times a week. Okay, so if, let's say, you didn't have that information, if you only saw this kind of increase with a competitor and you're going to try it yourself, that would be the part where you explain whether or not it's attainable. So you would look at the market, see what other people have done to improve their blog traffic, and you would act accordingly. relevant. By increasing blog traffic, will boost brand awareness and generate more leads. Okay, so when this means that the blog traffic goal, increasing blog traffic, is specifically related to brand awareness, where that is our bigger overarching goal. So we started with the idea, I want to increase brand awareness. And then we're saying, okay, how can we increase brand awareness? Well, last time we wanted to achieve more brand awareness, we were able to get more blog traffic by increasing the number of posts. Cool. So then we'll say, okay, we know we're able to increase brand awareness by increasing blog traffic. Therefore, we will add more posts. Now, this goal should be met by the end of this month. So they probably put this goal in on, for example, the 1st of November, and they would want to see it to have achieved that 8% increase by the 30th. Now, in conclusion, your SMART goal is at the end of this month. Our blog will see an 8% lift in traffic by increasing our weekly publishing frequency from 5 posts to 8. So we're saying we set the time, 1 month. What are we trying to do? Increase blog traffic / brand awareness to 8%. And then we're doing that by increasing publishing frequency. So we're hitting all of the parts of our SMART goal, and we have a relevant goal that is achievable and bound within a particular time frame. And a homework review for you guys. December 1st, marketing key terms quiz. December 3rd, you need to finish your PR advertising project. And by the end of finals week, you need to turn in your LinkedIn and resume project and your optional rewrite.